What is up, brother?
What's up, buddy?
Oh my God. So it's been a while. We haven't talked since the election.
No, we have not.
And man, what so today is Tuesday, January 21st, and it's the about almost 8 o'clock Pacific time. But it's been a pretty busy last day and a half. So do you have any particular favorites on the first I don't know, the first day of the second Trump presidency?
Um, I mean, I'm
Where to
not really,
begin?
not really surprised anymore, right? I mean, we kind of know what's going and it's already happening, right? With the executive orders and the first part. What's up with that goddamn salute?
You
I
know what?
mean,
I was thinking the same thing because um, I don't know. I've heard various takes on it, from regular news and internet people, and uh, yeah, it's well, put it this way: the Nazis think it's a salute to them. So does the rest matter?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I mean, the people that are supposed to get the message got the message. So
yeah, I mean, it was so. I mean, here's the thing: is like I get it. It's so audacious that you don't want to believe the intent behind it, right? Like, there's no way that he did an actual Nazi salute. That's his intention, right? We're all thinking that. But then, like, and obviously,
there's a
like
lot of that.
mm, but the right, they're like, yeah, that's exactly what he did. And thank you for bringing us
Right?
back.
Yeah. I
They're like,
mean,
thank you, and then, but it goes to show a couple things. One is that either Elon is not as smart as he likes to think he is, and two, he's a dork, right? Like who makes a gesture like that? It's just so crazy. It
yeah, there's
really
just
is.
no good answer, right? I mean, either he intended to do it, and I tend to fall into that camp, or he did not intend to do it and he was trying to do something else, which I don't know what that would be. Um, but in that case, it's enormously stupid. You know what I mean? But he hasn't
Yeah.
denied it after the fact either. He's just trolled
Oh,
people who's questioned him on it.
yeah, exactly. S-
And I guess the other question, the part, so one thing that confused me a little bit is that Anti Defamation League kind of gave him a pass on it,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I don't understand that at all.
I,
Because I honestly, that's not being Jewish. I give them priority on determining what is anti-Semitic and what is not. But they might have got this one wrong.
no, well, I mean, they're playing politics too. People don't like to think it, but if they're going to go in there and call Trump's number one boy right now, when they need him to absolutely give them the green flag for all out war, you know,
So it comes back to Palestine for you.
absolutely, 100%. That's the reason why they're not stepping up and saying anything now. I mean, it's funny how if you
Man, that's
defend
crazy talk.
if you defend Palestine at all, you're anti-Semitic. But if you do Nazi salute, you're not anti-Semitic. I mean, come on.
You
We're,
mean what? It's crazy.
and,
I
and
mean,
and the fact is they do need Trump give them the go ahead on the next phase of planning for the government of Palestine.
of Gaza,
The,
um, but not Musk. But I guess Musk is like vice president, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, great question anything that has any connection to Trump because they don't want to give Trump the bad side because they need him to do a bunch of stuff. And he's going to do it for
Man,
them.
that's cynical, bro.
It is, man. But you know what? At this point, like I'm not surprised anymore because I mean you can't get more anti-Semitic than that. Okay,
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing that was missing was the Heil Hitler.
I mean, he did it in all directions. I mean, I'm pretty sure
I
It's
know
not like he did it one time,
so
right? He did the same in each time. So crazy.
yeah, he back to back. Just in case you missed the first one,
Yeah.
as part of check on myself, my news outlets tend to be, uh, I don't know, what would you call it? The anti-Trump former Republicans.
Mhm.
You know, like places like the Bulwark. I do like Steve Schmidt. He was the campaign manager for John McCain. Remember Steve Schmidt, the movie? He was
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson played him in. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and everybody's pretty sure. No, that's a that's a Nazi salute, no doubt about it. And I mean, have you seen Germany's reaction? They're like, of course it
Yeah.
is. We won't even show it.
See,
Germany gets it.
oh my God. The Germans were like, yeah, we're staying away from that. All images of it as well. We're not going to promote that at all.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
It is, man. But at the same time, it's like, what do you expect at this point, right? I mean, nothing really surprises me. And the crazy thing about this too is like the whole what's it, Doge, the department. Ooh,
Right. The government agencies that's not an agency, that has no standing, but apparently is going to be leading Congress. That one.
I mean, you've seen him.
Yeah.
Swami,
Swami's out. Yeah.
he's
Vivek
out.
Ramaswamy.
Yeah. And they just, um, you know, it's so funny because there was an obvious move from us, which is like, yeah, he's like, I don't want this guy here, and it's not because he's brown; it's because I just don't want
Right.
this guy here.
No, I would even go as far as, and this will be maybe a little controversial, but you know, I don't know how. We'll put it this way: I don't think Trump's as racist as most of his supporters.
100% agree.
But I think it's a very useful tool for him to get those people on his side and keep them on his side, like passionately on his side. And so he'll play those divisions. I mean, you know, in the end, in the end, we're all probably worthless to him anyway, right?
No, don't worry.
But yeah, so I think for him, it's just a tactic. He doesn't, you know, racism's a tactic, just like birtherism was. And they've built a coalition around people that that third of people that tend to be passionately against something, right? Whether it's vaccines or blacks or Jews or whoever, you know. And they give those people a voice, and those people, turns out, will do anything for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too, right? And that's what's so scary about it. That's what people don't understand is like, it's like, I'm not a racist, but I tend to agree with them and they agree with me and my party on vaccines.
Right.
And it's like this, you know, there's no lines drawn at all. It's all just one murky side. And he's collated, or those people, collate, is that a word?
Yeah.
Into this one
the
faction.
Rorschach test, right? They all see themselves in him, you know?
Exactly. And it's just, it's sad. It's very sad. You know?
And the other thing is, you know, because I saw a lot of people were kind of like blowing off the Nazi salute. It seems like a big deal. Like World War II is over those assholes, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they were exterminating Jews in camps by the millions.
Yeah. But no, it's
Like
just to see like, like there is,
like it's a big deal.
yeah, but the anti-Semitic viewpoint right now is large now. It's big. And, those individuals, like, they've given room for that themselves, right? By not condemning the Palestinian atrocities by not condemning Trump because it gives them, you know, foothold on all this stuff. I think they've been saying, okay, yeah, you can be a little bit anti-Semitic, they're impose on our where we stand at in the world, basically, which is really weird. It's hard. What I'm trying to say is that they're okay with the blatant
Well,
racism and skinhead piece because they're like, that doesn't affect us. What affects us is our funding here and um, our
well, I think a
struggle.
lot of that cultural stuff keeps everybody busy while they do other shit like this meme coin and you know, I mean,
Oh yeah,
all that stuff just is like somebody compared it to a laser pointer, you know, and like we're all cats. We all chase the laser pointer, and then, you know, they're doing no bid government contracts out the back door to SpaceX for billions, you know?
oh yeah. What about
Um,
that $500 billion AI program they just announced?
oh,
I mean,
you know,
and not only that, but the guy that everybody said it was like no moral compass, no forethought into like the human survival of anything, of jobs or anything. He's going to be the head
it's
of that.
just, oh man, it's
Blank check.
crazy.
Here's a blank check just to do whatever you want. And all these workers that supported Trump.
Oh, I do think these are so my whole I don't know. So what I'll tell you, let me ask you first. What's your approach now for the next 4 to however many years Trump is around?
Oh, as far as
Cuz there's a lot of people that are demoralized, and there's a lot of people that have kind of given up, and there's other people that are just, you know, just mad, don't know what to do, and honestly, it's hard to cope with because, you know, it drives a lot of us crazy from the standpoint of, not that I disagree with any particular one of, you know, Republicans' policies, but that it's all built on lies and bullshit and hate and, you know, like all the worst parts of everything. That's what I don't like, you know.
yeah, I think
How you gonna cope with it, brother?
I'm sitting back with my feet up and my hands behind my head, you know, just enjoying the show because
Kind
what
of,
I
yeah,
where I see what's going to really happen, these people, you know, it's that old saying, fuck around, find out, right? And
right.
a lot of these people are going to find out the hard way of what this all means in the long run. And, you know, and they'll never equate it to Trump's policy. Because, I mean, let's be honest, half of them don't even know what a policy is. Um,
Right.
man, I
Right.
tell you, when these stockbrokers, you know, are out of jobs, right? Because the AI bot is taking over and their
Hmm.
corporation head has said, hey, guess what? We don't need you dummies anymore.
Right.
We have AI
I mean,
prompt
take your pick.
sending out emails to the clients constantly. I mean, you know, there's stuff like that. I mean, even just on the AI thing alone, I mean, you look at the impact it's going to have on the working sector. We're not talking about like blue collar people anymore. No, we're talking about just
I know
downright.
if you're, I mean, the good news is if you're a diesel mechanic, like you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. But until it trickles down to them, right? Because what's going to end up happening with them with the regulations? I mean, we've seen it so many times again when it comes to right to work. When that right to work piece comes in, and it's going to come in. I mean,
Well,
I think
let's go to something that I think is pretty interesting, which is the whole HB1 visa program.
yes.
Did I get that right? H1B. Um, no, B is in, you know, balls.
Yes.
But the I mean, it's basically to undercut the bargaining power of American engineers, right? I mean, that's the whole point of that stuff.
Well, it's also because you get guys like Trump, like Elon, who can come into Twitter and
Yep.
tell everybody, you're not going to stay behind, see you later. And you
Go
have,
hardcore, right?
right. And so these guys leave like, screw this, I need to take this. I'm going to go somewhere else for a job. Meanwhile, you have those H1B visas guys sitting around. We can't say no. But we don't want to go back to India.
Dude, that's what's crazy. The crazy thing is, and maybe I'm getting this wrong, and if I am getting it wrong, I hope somebody will set me straight. But I think that to get an H-1B visa, you've got to be sponsored by a company.
Yes. Yes.
You got to have, in other words, you got to have a job with Microsoft or whoever. And if you lose your job, right? If you get fired, you go home. You go back to your third world country or wherever.
These tech oligarchs, they abuse.
Dude, that's insane. You know how crazy that is?
Because they don't need a guy to come in for 8 hours a day. All right, I go home for my wife and kids, take my kids to softball practice. No, they're
let alone a woman who goes, I'm pregnant.
Yeah,
can't have that.
That's fine. Why would he care about that? So and so from whatever country, I'm willing to put in 13, 14-hour days because they're afraid to be like, oh, they don't have a choice. This is their.
Can you imagine that the awkward realization of that first conversation where it's like, we really need you here at Twitter on your fifth Sunday in a row or your fifth weekend in a row, and the guy's like, you know what? I can't anymore. I'm going to take a break or whatever. And it's like, well, I guess you want to go home then, and it's like, what time you want me in? It feels like slavery, doesn't it?
That's exactly what it is. It is. It's indentured servitude.
Right. And if you get paid a lot, I guess it's okay. Does that? But to the larger.
I mean, not get paid with American citizens.
Right, totally. And that's the thing, because at the end of the day, for the American piece is that, a regular person in a regular job who finds themselves very valuable to their employer can say, I want a raise, and if I don't get a raise, I'm going to take my services across the street. But the H-1B guys cannot do that,
No, they can't.
And so it screws the American guys too. It helps keep wages down, I guess,
It does. It absolutely does. Because, if I can participate for the sponsorship piece, and let's be honest, it's not much when it comes compared to what they're paying for the other guys' salaries, right? You can pay a guy $150,000 a year plus sponsor his visa. That guy, what won't that guy do for you? That's 10 times.
And not only that, now that I think about it, they're away from home too.
Yes.
So they're no wife, no kids, no husband, no nothing. You get nothing but work, man.
And so that's why it worked for him. That's why the whole Twitter thing worked. The Twitter thing didn't work because he had a bunch of people who were like, yes, Elon, you come in here, we're going to do everything that we can for you. No, you get an army of those guys that were already hired, that were already sponsored. I said, what choice?
Or working in his other places, and he took them over.
Yeah, either way. But what choice do I have? And so that's why they were so outspoken about that and criticizing the right for once, saying that this racism stuff has to, we need these guys in here. It's because they know it. They know it because those same
that's what did Vivek in, right? This whole conversation did Vivek in.
But Elon said the same
lazy
thing,
Americans don't want to do those jobs. And it's like, no, we don't want to do them for nothing.
Exactly.
Dude, I love Gen Z. Gen Z, for the first time in my life, and I'm a I guess an early Gen Xer. Seeing a workforce that values themselves and values their time and is willing to have a conversation about work-life balance. I mean,
well, because they saw it. They saw what happened with the parents. They saw what happened to the Gen X parents. They put in crazy hours. They didn't get to see their kids. They didn't get to see their families.
For nothing, just to get used and thrown out.
Just to lose their houses. The 08 crash. lose their houses
dude.
during fucking.
Oh my god, the next crash is going to be so bad because that's what these guys do. You know, the pump and dump, right? They're going to pump up sectors of the economy. They'll take their winnings, they'll split, and then the whole thing will come crashing down on the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what's happening with this whole Bitcoin thing. You know, I mean,
So
I mean,
you're
all of
more
this
up on the
sucks.
crypto. Tell me what's going on with crypto. So I know everybody, Trump, like any kind of group of weirdos, they found a friend in Trump.
Yeah, so because of the deregulation pieces and the whole with the new head swaps in the departments, it's basically anything goes right now. I mean, we saw during the early stages of 2016 as well with all of these coin companies, and that money comes from somewhere, and those investment pieces, they're all on through the venture capital system, you know. And so this is just it's a
Oh
big
yeah,
laundry.
yeah.
I think it's a big money laundry aspect of things. They could dump in a bunch of money into that piece, and legal laundry, I would say. Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
laundering coke.
legalized.
They're laundering. Um,
Well, you know, but nowadays it's just, you know, I don't know, it's legalized theft. Like things that used to be illegal are now legal.
absolutely, no, absolutely. So you get this, you get a coin, you dump a bunch of money in it, so it's going to go up, right? And you put some tenor behind it, and then it's all speculative. Everybody, all these poor guys, dump all their money into that piece, right?
Because it's a Wall Street, it's kind of like an artificial Wall Street bets, right? With GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just all created and manipulated. It's not
It's not based on anything. Yeah, not based
right.
on anything. There's no backing, and yeah, I mean they can see it. Like it's just crazy, man. How they
But
they
it's
manipulate the
it's
market
a
that way.
game. It's a game on who's going to hold and who's it's a game of chicken, right? Who's going to hold the longest and when do you sell? And then you don't want to be the first guy to sell, but you don't want to be the last guy, and.
Yeah, but the thing is this. My point is that the money that goes into it to back it up, to get it to where it needs to be in order for people to buy into it, has to come from somewhere. So they prompted
Right.
up themselves, and then they go on these huge marketing campaigns for it, pump it out there. Everybody dumps a bunch of money into it. They take their money out, they walk away with it, and it should just fucking fold like a house of cards.
So
It's happened time
it
and
goes
time
back
again.
to that goes back to the earlier point that you made of, this is we're in the fuck around and find out phase, right? Because, I will say this, and as I've been a union rep most of my adult life, and it feels like my whole career has been spent trying to keep people from screwing themselves. And at this point, especially when it comes to like the country and voting and the rest of it, I'm ready to go into I told you so mode.
I mean, that's exactly where I'm at right now. Um, I speak highly. I mean, I speak not highly. I speak out constantly on what's going to happen with this piece.
Right.
I mean, you can look at the wage
Oh, you can
growth.
drive yourself crazy, dude.
Yeah, you look at the wage growth, like a 3.6 on average for the last 5 years, some shit like that.
Yep. Just plugging along.
And it's like, okay, well, if the wages aren't going up, and but inflation is still there, and then, yeah, I did a good job of lowering the inflation rate, but people don't understand that piece. Inflation doesn't mean the cost of goods. Cost of goods are the cost of goods.
Right.
It's just how much those
the
go
profit
up. Right, exactly. So I'm saying, like, it's not like this stuff costs more money anymore. I mean, at the time it did cost a lot of money because supply and demand. There was high
Right.
demand and no supply.
Well,
It
you had
had
the whole
nothing.
pandemic and chips, and the computer chips and all that stuff too.
Yeah, but I mean, even with that being said, like the components themselves didn't get more expensive. But then you look at, well, where is the cost? Cost has nothing to do with labor. And
Well,
these
I think that
individuals that
right.
pump
I
it
got
out, whatever. Yeah.
another theory on that. That I think the companies figured out that why don't we really start pushing the envelope on how much people are willing to pay for stuff? You know, in other words, I've got a $200 widget that I've been selling for $350 and it's great, but I'm sold out of them. Let's sell it for 600, see what happens. And people keep sucking it up.
No, I mean, all of that stuff, man. I mean, look how low gas prices were at the start of the pandemic, right? And again,
Right.
nobody needed gas. It was out
Oh, they
there.
were giving it away.
And then all of a sudden, like, people still weren't driving, but somehow those prices went up. And it all goes back to Trump. Same way he did. Okay. But whatever. Yeah.
Dude, that
It is
dude's
what it is.
whack.
But these
But
people
yeah,
just,
so I'm
they have
I'm
no
in full I
idea.
told you so. I'm in full I told you so mode. And you know what? And because people have been voting against their interests because they don't like they don't like to hear the music that the Mexican neighbors play, or they don't like they're afraid to like talk to black people. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, what people
Um,
don't realize though is that there's a direct correlation with like bigotry and financial security. You know?
oh my god, dude! And speaking of which, like this whole system of merit, these Republicans, especially the MAGAs, they're always crying about merit, and people getting jobs they're not supposed to. And has there been a bigger like ship of clowns than the whole incoming group on the administration, all the cabinet positions?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
none of these people would ever get a sniff of any of these jobs if it wasn't for their privilege and their total like kowtowing to Trump. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean that's what it
that's
is.
what
It's
drives me
funny.
nuts. Is I've been such a fan of like DEI policies, just as and I'm a white guy, man, but I get it that to me what sound DEI policies are we giving everybody an equal opportunity? It's not about giving jobs to minorities. It's like inviting minorities to the party to see if they're better than the other people, and if they are, cool. But a lot of times minorities throughout history, and women especially, women have a lot to thank. Women should be, especially in Silicon Valley, should be thanking black people for the Equal Rights Act, because
Well, I love it how
before
that study came
women,
out. That study that just recently came out that showed that black women in the United States are actually the highest population of educated people.
right?
And it's like,
But
yeah,
white people, we can keep black people down, just not let them apply for a job.
no, that's my exact point of it. Is like, you guys talking about DEI stuff, but okay, then how come there isn't? How come all these jobs aren't black women?
Right. Right.
This DEI is so effective and it's pushing all this thing, then how come, my point is privilege does exist because even those people are toting.
Well, the argument
Gotcha.
is it's giving jobs to people that aren't qualified or don't deserve them, or aren't primarily aren't qualified. That's the whole argument.
Yeah, that's the whole argument. But
The phony argument, by the way.
yeah, the thing is, this is like, no, we have a statistic here that shows that black women are the highest educated people. So how come they're not qualified to do this job? And it's, what I'm saying? It's like, that doesn't make any
Oh,
sense.
totally.
Arguments null void. And brings people, will go back to the whole DEI stuff with the Trump administration piece. It's like, yes, these people are all, ass kissers and they tell the party line, but that's not the only reason why I got them in. I also got it in because, let's be honest, they wouldn't even get in the front door. No matter how much you took the party line, if you look like a person of color or a female
Right.
color, you'd think
Have you
Trump's
seen
going to
that?
get an opportunity to
Have you
go
seen
there.
that black guy in the Trump administration? Right? Oh my God.
And there's plenty of those guys that toe the line. I mean, look at Candace Owens. Who's
Oh
bigger?
my God. What a psycho she is, dude. Well, she's
Yeah,
not.
right.
She's just sold her soul to beat because she likes nice things and she likes going to the parties and being included and being the,
Oh,
being,
I mean,
our
don't get
black
me started
person.
on even on the whole. It's like the whole Ben Shapiro piece, right? Like I love it when he was getting fucking toasted for um, defending the CEO of healthcare, which I agree, nobody deserves to be murdered. But
I don't know.
he's like, you guys are appalling and all this stuff, and then everybody is chat like, hold on, man, the party line that you're toting here is not the same one that our viewpoint is. We're like, we don't believe in these guys and these.
Yeah, your mega populace that you play footsies with, that you let in, right, might have something to say about that too.
Exactly, they're complaining about the same shit, and they identify with the Luigi character or more than they identify with you now at some point.
I know that's when the mask slips a little bit.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, man, it's just crazy right now. But I am enjoying the time of just seeing all this shit that
Well,
going.
there's a reason, and I could even touch on the LA fires a little bit, but there's a reason when Luigi killed it was United Healthcare, right? Killed the CEO of United Healthcare, just whacked him right on the sidewalk. But there's a reason why people, I guess, lift that up as a heroic act or an act of defiance, or it's because people are fucking getting fucked, and
Mhm.
people see this system of billionaires, screwing working people, and they're tired of it, man. And so, there's a reason why it's a deplorable act, but why people are like, like myself, I'm like, one less billionaire, big
Yeah,
deal.
no, totally. I mean,
It's not like the guy was out there helping anybody.
all these guys are like that, and that's the thing about it. They're like trying to spin the thing. Well, he was just a farm boy from Iowa, or where the fuck he was from, and we all knew him as a down, regular guy. I was like, yeah, a regular guy who's denying
Yeah, he's
thousands of people medical services that mean life and death.
let's use AI to deny claims. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so crazy. And
Classic.
but yeah, no, I mean, my point right now is that I think
So nobody deserves to get murdered, but if they did, like, that would be like top of the list, would be using AI to, deny medical claims. That's going to be high up there.
I want individuals to start taking a seat back a little bit because I think even myself, like I was toting the line. My eyes weren't completely open when I was with Hillary. When Hillary was running against Trump the first time, I said, "Oh, she doesn't stand a chance." And, I mean, I remember telling my old boss, like, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, a lot of people are toting this nutty ideas here, and I think he's going to win. And nobody believed me, and then he won, and I was like, I'm not surprised. And this time around with Kamala, I was kind of like, I was hopeful, man. I was hopeful that, I really liked your cabinet choice. I liked your VP choice. But again, like it's
No,
like,
I would have been thrilled to have both women.
yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, it's like they had blinders on. They're like, we just gotta go back to the game.
Dude, it's crazy. It's not
Yeah.
blinders. It's that we end up siloing ourselves. Like I still watch like the regular news, because I have like a deep hatred of social media, especially like Facebook and the whole first election of Trump and all that stuff. But the reality is it's like, how many people know who the world chess champion is?
Exactly.
I mean, most people don't follow politics, and they certainly don't follow politics on regular network news. So, they don't even know. They don't, it's like having never heard rap and you don't know how big rap is. It's like they just have no idea. I can't conceive of like what's going on in, what's going on X, or just the net influence of like right-wing podcasters. It's crazy.
It is
But
crazy.
that's where the game is. The game is
That's where the
not
game
on
is.
traditional network media anymore at all.
It's not. And I think also the rules of the games have changed, right? Because it's
Oh,
not on
yeah.
network media. It's like you don't have to be PC on
Fact
this.
checking?
You don't
What?
have to be fact. Not even that. You could be a complete idiot. You could be a complete cokehead, or like Theo Vaughn, right?
But what if you're confident? What if you sound really confident?
Exactly. And it's just like, all right, if that's the game that we're going to play now, guys, you know, and this goes for the left. And I'm not a left or right guy. I'm not even a centralist. I'm more of an outside of the box kind of guy. I look at everything.
Well, you're a Mexipino. You're gonna get screwed no matter what.
Exactly. So my thing is this: is like, left. You guys got to wake up, and you guys got to start playing the game. With not the rules that were set forth for you guys anymore. It's time to play on a lot of what ifs. You know, what if it's the report on Russia and Donald Trump being peed on was real? You know, like
Right.
playing into the games of that, because guess what? Most Americans, they don't identify with a billionaire who likes to get peed on. You know?
Right.
It's time to play dirty. And it's not even playing dirty. Let's just do what it is. If this is what calls for it, and let's start calling it out at the same time.
Well, let's just say it.
You know, I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
here's a-
I think Donald Trump is better at politics. I don't think the Republicans are good at it.
What?
And they're
Here's
using
a
his playbook.
Stupid move, and that's Joe Biden building bridges and hospitals in fucking red states. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
You
all
know,
that shit.
thinking
all that
that
shit-
people are gonna,
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. All this people don't like the guts. You know, they want the outside. They want to see what's on the outside. It's like there's so many things that they can do, but again, because they play the game on both sides. When I think about both sides, I'm not talking about like right or left. I'm talking about they play the game for what the people need and what corporate wants, right? And because of that, they'll never win. They'll never win on that side anymore. Where the right, they just do what corporate wants, and they tell the people what they want to hear, right? That's it. You know what the people want to hear.
Dude,
They want to
they've
hear
been telling people that if you give rich people money, it's better for you. They've been saying that for 30 years, and people still believe that shit.
Yeah,
know?
but they also tell people, hey, guess what? We're going to protect girls in sports. Like, I'm sorry, when did people ever care about girls sports ever?
Yeah.
Right?
I'll tell you what, I'm actually digging the WNBA because Caitlin Clark has made that game, like, she's brought attention to what is a really good game, but that's a separate.
No, let's get into that, because that's actually a perfect segue, because it goes back into the left as well. So the people that identify as the left and that popular culture piece, right? Like, here you got this white girl,
Right.
and black male dominant sport, right? So she comes on,
Right.
she's lighting up these black girls, and everybody in the WNBA who has a voice doesn't like it, and they shit on her continuously. And it's like, yeah, guess what? That's the left right there, right? And they might not see it as a left or a right thing, but they're playing into their own stereotypes, right? That we're trying to fight against. And it's so cut. I mean, you say Angel Reese, they all lose their goddamn mind. You say Caitlin Clark, and they fucking just want to have a fucking hissy fit continuously, right? But you're right. It was so much fun watching her this season.
Well, not just watching her, but the whole game. Like, she brought my attention to like how good the game is. And yeah, watching her, she's amazing, and she's good and all that, but there are so many good players. I had no idea.
Yeah, and there are good players, and it's a good league. And guess what? It's a sport, right? And like, here's the thing, and that's what I tell my son now. Like, when I was your age, like I was like, oh yeah, I can hang with anybody, any female athlete. And then you start getting realizations like, I ran 206 800. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
these girls are running like a 150. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like night and day.
And then the other thing is too, for all the boomers out there, is that the old rules of like they're like the people that are wearing black are the bad guys and the people that are wearing the white are the good guys. It's just not that simple anymore. It's just people that you can't put people into buckets anymore by how they look or what race they are or what nationality or what music they listen to.
Look at the whole MMA thing with women, right? For so many years, like I've been saying that if you want to see a strong woman, look at these girls. There's no other.
In
Um,
fact, Dana White was really against women fighting, right?
yes, he was anti-women. Took Ronda Rousey to come in there because she was such a draw. He was like, I was completely wrong about her. Like, yeah, and then he was like,
Well,
oh,
money, money in the end is, it's money, right?
yeah, but then even then it was like, oh, Ronda Rousey's the only savior of this, and we got Amanda Nunes, and she started knocking out chick left and right, and it's like, okay, well maybe it's not a Ronda Rousey thing, maybe it's just a fighter thing. And how are you going to tell me that these women aren't fighters? And now they're fighters,
Totally,
where
dude.
they're head kicking each other into oblivion. I mean, yeah, that one chick from China, she's a doctor. They call her Doctor Sleep because she just like obliterates people.
Dr. Sleep. Holly Holm just beat the piss out of Ronda Rousey, dude.
Yes, I mean that's what I'm talking about. But you had how many years ago was that? That was more than 10 years ago, right? It had to have been
I don't
now.
know.
But did you ever see anybody promoting like women's strength and women's dominance in sports or anything for them? No, it wasn't. It was UFC fans that like watching fights that bought the fights because they like fighting, and women were putting on fights, skillful fights, dominant displays, and it's like, these are people that back them. Where was
That's
the left
2015, bro. So it's 10 years ago. Yeah.
10 years ago? So where was the left? Where was women empowerment? Where are all these actresses that talk about strong women and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Like women's equality and feminists and stuff like that. Like where were they? They had their champions, and they've had champions for the last 10 years, and they never promoted it once. So that's my point on this, is that they fall into these things. And it's like, listen, if you had all these women voting them and pumping them up and taking them to the banquets and showing them off, don't you think you had a
Right.
little bit more spokespersons for women's rights and women's rights to choose?
If women want to be warriors and go do battle, like, do it.
Yeah, pump them up for it and show them off, because guess what? What's a better ambassador than that, right? I mean, got
No, I know it.
Republicans and have done it with everything. They find one guy, Kanye their guy, right? Because
Oh my God.
right. I mean, anybody that would say anything good about Trump, they're like, yes, he's our guy.
And that's the other thing. If you want to talk about kind of the future of things Democrats need to do, which everybody loves talking about. Personally, my approach is all of the above. Everybody's right
absolutely.
when they criticize the Democrats. Everybody's right, and do it all. But one thing I will say, the MAGA or maggots, my wife says. One thing about the maggots though is they're incredibly forgiving of anybody who's just willing to like tip the hat to Trump. If you put on a red hat, I don't give a shit who you are. Shit, if trans people start wearing red hats tomorrow, they'd be pro-trans.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
forgiving.
And my thing is this, is like, let's inundate with them. Let's fucking put on the Trump ads. Screw it, because it's funner to watch from the inside than
Mix
from
with
the
them and
outside.
troll a little bit. Yeah.
Why not? And then not only that, but attack them from the inside, right?
They are such a collection of diverging interests. I'll just put it that way. That I don't know how long you can hold that group together. I mean,
But the thing is
they've
this,
held them
though.
together, but
But the
how
thing
long
is-
until Musk pisses off, David Duke or somebody, and
Yeah, but the
and
point
once
is
Trump's
this, is
gone,
that
nobody else will pull it all
but
together.
Trump and the right, they don't care about those people's agendas. They only care about the agenda of the rich, right? And so,
For loyalty, right? If you vote for us, do whatever the hell you want.
yeah, and that's the thing though. But like, my point is that here, if you really want to affect them, right, it's like go after them from the inside, and not just go after from the inside, but attack them from the inside. Attack them from. I mean, look what they do to the Democrats. They always turn the Democrats against each other, right? They have
oh man,
the
it's
squad.
too easy.
I mean, how much of the squad was an issue, right?
Well, that's my point. Is like Democrats are a lot less tolerant of each other.
Yes,
even though we're supposedly inclusive, and we're a lot less tolerant of each other than the Trump coalition is. Because man, they'll welcome you with open arms, no matter who you are. Is and especially if you're kind of a traitor to your people, like they'll not only that, you get like a front row seat.
yeah,
Caitlyn Jenner, there's another good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what was she thinking, dude?
Yeah, but again, like, if you want to attack from this side, I mean, just pivot like the whole pharma thing and the anti-vaxxers against each other. Like,
oh man, it's so
pharma,
easy.
big tech, man. Pharma, big tech, and anti-vaxxers. I mean, that's an easy fucking attack, and troll them. How come if they, if RFK is so anti-vax, why is he in league with Big Pharma? I mean, why does he have a Big Mac in his hand now?
I know it, dude. That's so funny. That is so funny,
right?
What a collection of knuckleheads, man. Yeah. So one thing, speaking of knuckleheads, one couple of things I got to get off my chest, or one thing primarily, is like John Fetterman, you're fucking embarrassing us. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not the dress code police, but bro, put a polo on. I mean, come on, dude, wear a sport coat and polo. Like, meet the minimum. And you can't do presidential inaugurations. You know why? Because it just makes a mockery of it from everybody, in a hoodie and basketball shorts. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's
and he's trying to say something, but it's just more stupid. Like, what do people say? We're in the stupidest timeline. It's just more evidence, It's like, God, what is he thinking, dude?
Yeah, I mean,
but what is that to get attention, or
what have you done? What have you done to deserve that right to put in that kind of thing? Like, what have any of these guys done at this point? And I know what they do, but they're not doing a good job of telling.
They got elected, man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I just can't wait for just the shit to roll downhill. I mean, unfortunately, like, we all suffer for it.
Dude.
Right? I mean, we all suffer for it.
And I'll be honest, I've been out fighting for immigrant rights, and for, for minority rights and everything. And when they start knocking on doors, they're not knocking on my door, and the fact that you've got people that are, especially minorities that are like traitors to their own people, guess what? You're going to get swept up too, bro.
Guess what? Because at the end of the day, like, you're
like
your dad's green card is not permanent.
Give you a pass because you checked an R on the box?
Yeah, permanent citizenship is not permanent citizenship. You guys understand that piece, right? Like, you guys can, they can decide.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Well, you have to renew it.
That's you get shoved on a bus, and you say, my name is Michael Hernandez. And they're like, nope, your name is Michael Jimenez. You know what I mean? What are you going to do?
Exactly. Yeah,
you hand them your driver's license, and they take and put it in their pocket. And then what? Now what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, all right. So here's my thing, though. I don't think Trump.
Wrap it up. Bring us home.
I don't think Trump's going to do any of the things that he said he's going to do that got these people to vote for him. I think the only things that he's going to do.
Give me 3 examples.
Okay, so the immigration.
What he's not going to do.
Mass deportation is not going to happen. All right. First of all, he can't come up.
Logistically, it's impossible anyway. But
It's impossible. He can't put the guys in charge to be able to do so. But he'll tote on that line for 4 years. Where, what he will do somehow pass along this $500 billion thing, the AI piece, right? That he didn't run on. He's not going to solve the Ukrainian crisis piece. Okay? He's not.
yeah, I think the clock's ticking on that, right? He said the first 24 hours.
Yeah, well, it's over. Either way, he's not going to do that. And the reason why he's not going to do that, because it's going to be leveraged with Putin or him, right? So right now, he knows it. That I think he's smart enough to know that having the conflict in Ukraine um, puts him in the good graces of Putin. And so he's going to drag it out. Okay, so it's not going to end the war there. But what he will do is somehow pass another military legislation thing and take away more rights and expand on that piece somehow. You know,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. Go ahead.
I also don't think he's going to get through his tariffs like he says he's going to do. You know, he's going to try to do this whole external revenue service piece. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to do that. But what he will do is find a way to extend the tax cuts for the rich for the next 4 years.
Well, the truth is, they'll make some shit up and call it tariffs anyway. You know what I mean? That's all they. That's their game plan for everything. Is just make some shit up and then say it did something. You know.
Wait.
I
We'll
think
see
in
the extension of the tax
Ukraine,
cut.
yeah, the fucking tax cuts are such a joke, dude.
Of course.
Hell, Democrats are even on board on that one just because of perception. You know, the whole tax argument's so pathetic. But
Of
on
course.
Ukraine, I think Trump would rather have, if he's picking winners and losers, he'd rather have Putin as a friend, as a, call it a cohort or a co-conspirator or whatever, because Ukraine ain't going to do a lot for Trump either way. He could care less, you know? In other words, there's nothing for Ukraine to give Trump that he couldn't get a better deal with Russia, you know? Whether it's
Maybe,
hotels
but
or
what if
crypto
you
or whatever.
Well, what if you see a switch, and that's what I want to see. Because I mean, here's the thing: when Zelensky called him the first time, he didn't tell Trump no.
No, I know. No, I mean, dude, for their survival, they'll do anything.
Exactly. So,
But I'm just saying they don't have enough. They don't have enough to give. Is my point. Russia's still got the bigger pockets.
no, but here's my thing though: on NATO stance, right? I think Trump can get more out of the other countries in the threatening of NATO, right? Because again, Ukraine loses to Russia. Russia overtakes Ukraine. They're on the border of these other NATO allies, and
Right.
you don't. I think that Trump would use as a bargaining chip to these other countries to adhere to some of his demands, right? So he's going to think like, guess what?
Right. No, I that's why I'm just saying. That's why I'm saying a stronger Russia, a successful Russia, is better for Trump. And Trump,
Maybe no, but the thing is this though: if
That's my guess.
Trump
That's my
gives
guess.
up- if Trump gives up Ukraine, then he loses his bargaining chip with NATO. That's what I think.
No, he gains a bargaining chip.
I think so. I think he loses it because now,
and that is you guys really need us now because Russia's going to roll over all of you guys.
yeah. But I mean, I think the coalition is stronger than than what Trump would put in there anyway. I don't think Trump would ever put anything into that piece. He's not going to send
don't
ships
know.
to serve.
It's whatever's good for him in the minute. Who knows what that fucking whack job thinks?
Yeah. So there's gonna be a bunch of shit like that. I just can't wait to see when it starts rolling downhill.
Dude, and you know what's crazy? What's crazy is some kid like almost shot him, dude. How crazy is that?
I know. You know what my son said? He said, when I told her,
I don't know. I don't know if I want to ask.
he's like, oh my God. Yeah, he wasn't even surprised. He was like, really? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, he's going to win now. I go, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, he's going to act all tough. And people are going to be like, oh, he's my president and he can't be taken out and he's going to win. All right, buddy. That's a pretty interesting take on it, but we'll see what happens. And he was right. I mean, it was a huge leapfrog for him.
Well, in hindsight, taking the beer goggles off or whatever, or the optimistic goggles off, is in hindsight, like this thing, they lost this thing a long time. Like Biden lost this thing a long time ago.
Yeah. No, he definitely did, man. And I think that,
and there's just no way. And if we're being honest, there's no way America is going to vote for a woman, let alone a woman of color, to be president. It just ain't. We're not there yet, and it's sad.
it's just so crazy that these people of color that voted for him, it wasn't. It didn't show
because the Democrats, Trump didn't pick up votes. He basically replaced the votes he lost, and the votes he lost just didn't vote. Like Democrats didn't vote.
No, they didn't.
Sad, dude.
They didn't, and yeah, I think you're right there. Like people were like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to vote now."
Or God, it's insane. It's hard to even believe.
But the people that told us,
are you home yet? Where are you?
I'm in about an hour away.
Damn, that sucks, man.
Well, tell you what though, I really did appreciate this conversation. I think I needed this. That was pretty cathartic. We gotta do it again.
No, I need some too because I've been bummed, dude. It's hard.
I figured give everybody their space right now, but yeah, no, let's pick this back up, and I'm gonna be paying close attention. But let's. I think we should throw out there a couple ideas for the Democrats every week. Yeah.
Amen, and do them all because they're all right. And the first one starts with like, don't, get pissed at people if they use the wrong pronoun or something. Which is, that's just picking on one side of the equation. There's plenty of picking on to go around. But let's all be a little more welcoming and a little more forgiving. So,
absolutely. All right, man.
All right.
All right, you take care.
All right, later.